The Oxford Murders is a 2008 thriller film focusing on dialogue rather than the usual crime-solving. While it does in fact involve murders, the actual crimes are not the important parts themselves. The main character, Martin, is a student enlisting at Oxford and trying to convince a certain renowned professor, Seldom, to become his advisor, who initially refuses, saying that he is only giving lectures. During one of those, Seldom states that, following Wittgenstein's conclusions, there is no absolute truth, trying to catch the professor's attention in hope that he would change his mind about being an advisor. Martin objects, saying he believes in the truth of mathematics. Seldom comes up with the butterfly effect in favor of mathematical predictability but ridicules its proposed beauty as heartless and cruel nature. Angry and disappointed, Martin wants to leave the university, but when he enters the house he was renting a room in, he finds the landlady murdered. Seldom, who knew the woman, incidentally arrives at the same time. They discover a game of Scrabble on the table and Seldom notices an arrangement he assumes to be an announcement of a series of murders. At the police station, he tells the officer he believes the murderer wants to challenge the idea that there is no perfect murder, a view Seldom had advanced in a book of his. Starting then, Seldom and Martin often meet to discuss their points of view on the matter, arguing about topics such as the rule-following paradox, the principle of uncertainty, the incompleteness theorem, and the possibility of a perfect crime, among other things, while Seldom insists that there is no sure way of knowing the truth and Martin believes in the opposite. Now, the movie received overwhelmingly negative criticism, with the main arguments being that the plot made no sense and it was generally boring due to the dialogue. Frankly, I think everybody who argues that way is plainly ignorant of the fact that the dialogue is the whole point of the movie. If you are not interested in the topics mentioned above and want to see a commonplace crime movie, this is not for you, but if you'd like a movie with intelligent and thoughtful conversation, this is one of not too many ones offering that. It is not sophisticated in a confusing manner similar to Memento, if you wondered. But you should have some ideas about philosophy to be able to enjoy the protagonists elaborating their points of view. Since there are basically two positions, determinism and indeterminism, everyone should find themselves agreeing with arguments from one of the two. I admit that there are some annoying flaws in the script, mainly the unnecessary love subplot and somewhat clunky denuement concerning the murders. Improvement could have been applied by way of having a brilliant story and conclusion, but as I said before, the film's focus lies somewhere else and it does well at what it actually intends to do. In conclusion, I have to say you should know what to expect from this movie and there is no point in criticizing it for not appealing to you. Some critics seem to think every single movie has to be perfectly compelling to them for it to be worthy of a positive review. However, that's not only impossible but also a rather narrow-minded way to think.